Hi, my name is Sydney, and I am here to talk us through it for Sunday, March 30th, 2025. It is the sun's day, and the sun just went through it, having gone through a new moon partial solar eclipse in Aries. So the sun is in Aries, he's exalted, he is feeling shiny and bright, but he did just kind of get a little bit literally eclipsed, covered up, maybe some of his power looked at, stripped at, taken away, knocked down a peg, perhaps. But he's still in Aries. So he's still the king. He's still working out. He's still the pioneer. He's still number one. He's still the adventurer. Oh, yeah. And today we have Neptune now going into Aries very, very early in the morning. Neptune takes 164 years to go around the zodiac. And so this is a new phase and a new frontier, a new way of our vision, right? Of going forward. This Neptune is a planet of illusion, glamour, could be art. It's very spiritual. It is about the vision. Big watery planet, slow. And what it does is it dissolves and it can dilute and it can delude whatever it touches. And the sign that it is now in is Aries. And before, when it was in Pisces, I saw this astrologer, and I can't remember her name right now. If I come across it again on my timeline, I will tag you. But she was talking about how, Neptune in Pisces really brought the rise of like social media. And a fair amount of astrologers have been talking about it recently. And so we have to wonder, if Neptune and Aries could be the end of all of the farce, right? That gets put on in Pisces, right? The all of the glamour shields kind of come down. And maybe now we're going to glamorize new things. We're not going to glamorize the illusion of things, the art of things, right? Maybe now things are going to get way more stripped down, way more bare. Maybe we're going to get a little bit more real. We also might end up literally glamorizing war. Putting war on a pedestal. Neptune can do that. And can confuse us around the ideas of what being a warrior or a soldier are, being a pioneer, right? Going off on new horizons and climbing mountains by yourself, kind of thing. So I am intensely interested to see what Neptune does in this sign. And we got a lot of Aries pioneering energy in the sky, right? We are in a new horizon now. Wild times that we are living in. I am tired of living in precedented times. I'm sure some of you are too. At 12:20 a.m., we do have the moon conjunct Chiron, which can bring a sense of being able to sit inside some emotional healing around identity, around our sense of purpose and how we want to go forward and how we nurse our wounds, right? I like the aspect we could be feeling a little bit sensitive, but I think in a good way. I think it brings an awareness to our wounds in a way that isn't like super icky. Instead, we can just kind of sit inside of it. 2:17 a.m. moon square Mars, parts of the world are awake at this point. And this is cranky, right? This is some sort of emotional outburst. This is anger. If you have an angry dream, that's what's going on. Especially for us on the West Coast. Hopefully you're still asleep or you're still partying. That is definitely the aspect for a bar brawl breaking out or like a fight in a house. So be very, very cautious. Try not to overdo it so that you have your wits about you. 2:17 a.m. on Sunday. So, if you go out partying on Saturday during an eclipse, Jesus, I wouldn't do it, but good on you. You might witness some violence, some fights, some fisticuffs. Then we have the moon in Aries running like Tomb Raider via semi-sextile and hitting Uranus and Taurus. A few hours later, Venus in Pisces. A couple hours later, that Mercury in Pisces. Also, Venus is retrograde. Yeah. Anyways. And then it's going to semi-sextile Neptune in Pisces. Then it's going to semi-square Jupiter in Gemini. So I really think this is a lot of like really trying to find, after that outburst, trying to find some sort of stability and comfort. And we don't get to. At the end of this afternoon going into the evening, I don't think we truly get to find our sense of stability and security, even though we are seeking to be able to do that and to communicate that and to find a way to feel a bit more comfortable inside of our new dreams. And then we will have a kind of interesting semi-sextile with Neptune in Aries. The moon in Aries, I believe, is going to do that, or maybe it's the moon in Taurus. Anyways, there is a semi-sextile that happens with the moon and Neptune, which I think is an interesting conversation because it's just like, yeah, we're familiar with each other, but it's not quite right. Now, 1 p.m., we have the moon semi-square Jupiter in Gemini, and I think that this is feeling unsettled because there is a lot to do. There's a lot to do and a lot to wrap up here, but we don't get to because at 1:16 p.m., the moon enters Taurus and she wants to be cozy. She wants to calm down. All those semi-sextiles were really trying to find stability, and now the moon is like, I'm in Taurus, and we are going to get real calm about it. We're going to wrap ourselves in a blankie. We're going to eat some chocolate. We're going to take a nap. And you know what? The day after an eclipse, that's great. Take a nap, honestly. 6:52 p.m., we have the moon in Taurus square Pluto in Aquarius. This is an emotionally charged aspect where we are probably really wanting to be inside of our security, and now something bigger has come up and said, hey, I need you to take more into consideration. And this square is in fixed signs. Moon in Taurus doesn't want to move. It wants to sit in its field, and this bull wants to chew on his treats. He doesn't want to move, but Pluto's like, nah, we got to activate, yo. We got to get deeper into this. Why do you need to be so secure right now, Moon? Can you get to the bottom of that, and can you dig that up, and can you work with that now? So if you're feeling extra emotional and you don't like feeling emotional or really intense about the things that you need in your life, that's what that is. There's a crisis of awareness here. You are aware of what needs to be done and you're not comfy about it at all. 7:25 p.m., we have the moon in Taurus semi-sextile the sun in Aries. So I think about the moon in Taurus, comfort. And then I think about the sun in Aries, action. And so there's something here about trying to maybe find a sense of security inside of the sorts of actions you need to take. And we need to remember the semi-sextile. These are signs that don't really quite get each other, but like one was just there. So it does kind of get it. One was in the previous sign before. So he was like, I know what you're saying, but also like, we got to go over here. But okay, like we'll try to find a sense of like chill here to push forward. So I think we have, it's an interesting day of processing. That's what all of these aspects are telling me, is that there's a lot of processing going on. Not all of it is entirely comfortable, even though we will really be wanting our comfort. But good luck to you. Yeah. So with that, that's Sunday. I hope you're taking good care of yourselves. Take care.
Hey, thank you for listening to today's Astro Weather with me. I'm Sydney. As a reminder, I'm always open to seeing both new and my beloved returning clients. My website is ddastrology.com. That is D as in dog, D as in dog, astrology.com to check me out and just click the email buttons in order to schedule with me. If you're into a more conversational feel with your podcast and content, I have a podcast called BS Astrology with my fellow Mercurial Mommy Bender, and we put out episodes every Sunday for the week. Just search BS Astrology on YouTube or wherever you enjoy listening to your podcast, including Spotify, Audible, and more. Have a good day.